Buddha's teaching: to be at peace, be grateful and live well. Each day, life will naturally transform. In the quiet of a morning, when the first light touches your window, have you ever paused to notice the simple miracle of being alive? The air flowing gently into your lungs, the warmth of the sun, or even the gentle sounds of life around you. Many of us rush through life, chasing achievements, possessions, and recognition, thinking that happiness and peace are somewhere out there. Yet, as the Buddha taught, true peace does not come from the outside world. It emerges naturally when the heart is grateful and the mind is cultivated wisely. Gratitude is not just a polite phrase or a fleeting feeling. It is the foundation of inner freedom and lasting contentment. To live in gratitude is to awaken, moment by moment, to the blessings of life, the lessons hidden in challenges, and the gifts within simple acts. The Buddha emphasized that one does not need to leave the world to find liberation. Even in ordinary life, peace and enlightenment are attainable through mindful awareness and a heart that cherishes what is given. This journey of gratitude, mindfulness, and goodness is not about perfection. It is about progress, moment by moment, learning to transform suffering into understanding, letting go of attachment, and embracing the present. Life itself becomes a teacher when one chooses to see the hidden blessings in every event. In this article, we will explore how gratitude, coupled with daily acts of virtue and mindful living, can transform the very fabric of life. We will examine practical ways to live fully, cultivate inner peace, and walk a path of goodness that not only benefits ourselves but also radiates outward, touching the lives of those around us. Why gratitude is the first step. Imagine holding a cup in your hands. If the cup is full of resentment, jealousy, and complaints, even the smallest drop of happiness cannot fit. But if the cup is clean, clear, and open, every drop of joy, every act of kindness, and every lesson life offers can fill it to the brim. Gratitude is the cleanser of the mind. It allows us to see clearly, receive fully, and respond wisely. The Buddha said, "Gratitude is the foundation of morality. Ingratitude is the root of ignorance." Anguttara Nikaya. From this simple but profound teaching, we understand that gratitude is not merely a virtue, but a path to wisdom itself. It allows us to awaken to the interconnectedness of life, to the subtle ways in which every person, every circumstance, and even every challenge contributes to our growth and understanding. Gratitude awakens the heart. When the heart awakens to gratitude, it begins to shift naturally away from resentment, envy, and desire. Every act, word, and thought becomes an opportunity to live more fully and to cultivate virtue. Gratitude is not passive. It is active recognition of the value of life itself, of lessons learned through hardship, and of the beauty in every ordinary moment. The practice of gratitude is like tending a garden. At first, the seeds may seem small and insignificant, barely visible in the soil. But with care, attention, and daily nurturing, these seeds sprout, bloom, and eventually bear fruit. The fruit is peace, contentment, and a life of harmony with oneself and others. Even the Buddha, who achieved ultimate enlightenment, recognized the transformative power of gratitude. By cultivating appreciation for the teachings, for his teachers, and for the conditions of his life, he demonstrated that awakening begins within. How this journey will unfold. In the sections that follow, we will explore 1. The foundations of gratitude, learning to be grateful to parents, teachers, all beings, and even life's challenges. 2. Living well. Each day, how small acts of goodness, mindfulness, and ethical living create a life of harmony and peace. 3. Transforming suffering through gratitude and compassion, using challenges as teachers, and cultivating the heart to convert pain into wisdom. 4. Returning to yourself, finding inner peace amid life's storms, observing the mind and embracing impermanence. 5. How gratitude and virtue naturally transform life. The practical impact of daily practice and mindful living. 6. The art of contentment. Knowing what is enough, reducing attachment, and finding abundance in simplicity. 7. Conclusion. Living inspired by the Buddha. Integrating gratitude, virtue, and mindfulness into every aspect of life for lasting peace and transformation. Through stories, practical guidance, and reflections on the Buddha's teachings, this article will serve as both a practical guide and an inspiration to cultivate gratitude, goodness, and mindfulness in every moment. By the end, you will understand that you do not need to search outside yourself for peace. It is available right now within your heart, in every breath, and in every act of conscious kindness. Part 1. Gratitude as the foundation of life. Gratitude is the foundation upon which all other virtues are built. It is the lens through which we see life with clarity, the seed that blossoms into compassion, and the light that illuminates the path to inner peace. Before we can live well, transform suffering, or find true contentment, we must first cultivate a heart that is genuinely grateful. 1. Gratitude to parents, the first and greatest debt. Among all debts of life, the debt to parents is unparalleled. They provide life itself, nurture us through infancy, and guide our earliest steps in the world. Their sacrifices often go unnoticed, yet without them, none of our experiences, struggles, or joys would even be possible. The Buddha said, "There are two people whose gratitude can never be repaid, your father and your mother." Anguttara Nikaya, 2 people. Consider a child born into a modest household. The parents work tirelessly, waking before dawn, laboring through the day, ensuring that their child has food, clothing, and education. Often, they go without comforts themselves, placing the child's needs above their own. Gratitude in this context is not just a feeling, it is action. It is caring for parents when they age, speaking kindly, honoring their sacrifices, and living a life that reflects virtue and responsibility. Gratitude to parents also extends to appreciating the lessons they impart, even when the lessons are difficult. The stern admonitions, the rules and boundaries are expressions of love in disguise. By understanding this, a child transforms resentment into appreciation and builds a heart that is both humble and wise. Imagine that every act of gratitude is like a lamp. The more gratitude you offer, the more light fills your heart, dispelling the darkness of selfishness, frustration, and anger. 2. Gratitude to teachers, illuminating the mind. If parents give life to our body, teachers give life to our mind. Every mentor, guide, and teacher who helps us understand the world, learn skills, or cultivate virtue deserves our deepest respect. The Buddha emphasized, "Those who show you the way out of ignorance are the ones worthy of highest respect and offering." A teacher's role is often subtle. They may not always provide direct answers, but through guidance, encouragement, and correction, they help the student awaken to self-awareness and understanding. Gratitude to a teacher can be expressed by studying diligently, living according to their guidance, and sharing wisdom with others. Even a single life lesson can resonate through decades. Think of the mentor who challenged you to persevere during hardship, or the teacher who patiently explained a difficult concept. The act of remembering and honoring their efforts cultivates humility and recognition of the interconnectedness of all lives. 3. Gratitude to all beings, embracing interconnectedness. The Buddha taught that no one exists in isolation. Every moment of our life is supported by countless beings and conditions. The food we eat, the water we drink, the air we breathe, the kindness of strangers, every experience relies on the contributions of others, often unseen. Not even a speck of dust exists alone. All things exist in dependence. Avatamsaka Sutra. Practicing gratitude toward all beings nurtures compassion and awareness. It transforms mundane acts into sacred gestures. When we appreciate the farmer who grows our rice, the driver who clears our path, or even the plants and trees that sustain life, we cultivate a heart that sees value in everything and everyone. Gratitude to all beings also extends to those who challenge us, the difficult colleague, the critic, or the person who has caused us pain. They too are teachers. By being grateful for their presence, we practice patience, understanding, and the art of letting go. 4. Gratitude for challenges, lessons. Hidden in suffering life inevitably presents challenges: illness, loss, failure, and disappointment. These moments test our patience, resilience, and perspective. The Buddha called suffering the first truth, recognizing that it is universal and unavoidable. Suffering is the first truth. Understanding it is the beginning of liberation. 4 noble truths. Rather than resist or resent suffering, gratitude teaches us to see the lesson within. Every difficulty can become a mirror, reflecting our attachments, expectations, and fears. For example, a failed project teaches humility and perseverance. The loss of a loved one teaches impermanence and deep compassion. A personal betrayal teaches discernment and the importance of forgiveness. When we choose to be grateful for challenges, pain transforms into wisdom. We learn that suffering is not an enemy, but a teacher guiding us toward clarity and inner freedom. 5. Gratitude for life's circumstances, embracing impermanence. Life is ever-changing. Circumstances rise and fall, fortunes come and go, relationships blossom and fade. The Buddha taught dependent origination, the principle that all phenomena arise in dependence on conditions. This arises, that arises. This ceases, that ceases. Samyutta Nikaya, dependent origination. Gratitude allows us to accept impermanence without clinging. We appreciate life's gifts, large and small, without becoming enslaved to them. Even loss becomes a reason for reflection, a prompt to cherish what remains, and a lesson in humility. A grateful heart sees the hidden patterns of life, recognizing that what appears as difficulty may be a gift, and what appears as abundance may be fleeting. In this awareness, we find balance, resilience, and inner peace. 6. Gratitude for life itself, mindfulness in the present moment. Ultimately, gratitude is about being fully present. Each breath, each heartbeat, each step is a gift. When we practice mindfulness, we awaken to the miraculous nature of everyday life. Today is the most precious day, for we only truly live in the present. Udana Sutra, One Night Sage. Even the smallest moments, drinking water, hearing birdsong, smiling at a stranger, become opportunities for gratitude. This transforms life into a continuous practice of appreciation, where joy is found not in seeking, but in noticing and valuing what is already here. 7. Gratitude to the Buddha, honoring the path. Finally, gratitude is extended to the Buddha himself, whose life and teachings illuminate the path of awakening. I am the guide. No one can walk your path for you. Dhammapada 276. We repay the Buddha's guidance not merely by devotion, but by living according to the Dharma, practicing mindfulness, compassion, letting go of attachments, and cultivating wisdom. Each act of kindness, every moment of awareness, is an offering of gratitude, a way to honor the path and awaken the heart. Reflection. By cultivating gratitude in these 7 ways, toward parents, teachers, all beings, challenges, circumstances, life itself, and the Buddha, we lay a solid foundation for peace, joy, and freedom from suffering. Gratitude becomes the lens through which we see life, the energy that fuels our virtue, and the light that guides our every step. Gratitude turns what we have into enough, transforms challenges into lessons, and brings the heart into harmony with the universe. Part 2. Living well. Each day, small acts with big impact. Life is a collection of ordinary moments. Often we underestimate the power of a smile, a kind word, or a thoughtful gesture. Yet, as the Buddha taught, every action, no matter how small, contributes to the quality of our life and the lives of others. Living well each day is not about grandeur or recognition. It is about cultivating mindfulness, virtue, and gratitude in every moment. 1. The power of daily choices. Each day presents countless choices: how we speak, how we act, how we respond to others, and even how we perceive circumstances. These choices shape not only our present moment, but also our future experiences. The Buddha said, "We are shaped by our thoughts. We become what we think. When the mind is pure, joy follows like a shadow that never leaves." Dhammapada 1-2. By consciously choosing kindness, patience, and integrity, we sow seeds of peace and happiness. For instance, greeting a neighbor with a smile may brighten their day and ripple into unexpected acts of kindness. Offering assistance to a colleague, even in small ways, strengthens trust and cooperation. Speaking gently to children, friends, or strangers cultivates harmony and diminishes conflict. Even when actions seem minor, the cumulative effect of consistent goodness transforms our lives and environment. 2. Mindfulness in everyday life. Living well requires being present. Mindfulness, or awareness of the present moment without judgment, allows us to respond to life with clarity instead of reacting impulsively. Simple practices include observing your breath while waking or before meals, fully engaging in conversations, listening deeply without planning your response, paying attention to small details, colors of leaves, sounds of water, warmth of sunlight. These practices may seem trivial, but they anchor the mind, reduce stress, and increase appreciation for life. A mindful heart naturally extends into compassionate action and gratitude, making each day richer and more fulfilling. 3. Small acts of virtue. The ripple effect. Virtue is the practical expression of gratitude. Every ethical action contributes to harmony in the world and peace in our hearts. Examples of small acts of virtue include returning a lost item to its owner, offering a seat to someone in need, speaking a word of encouragement, caring for the environment by reducing waste. The Buddha taught, even the smallest good deed done with purity of mind produces fruit. These acts, repeated daily, become habits, and habits become the architecture of a life filled with peace, joy, and meaningful connections. Over time, a life dedicated to small acts of goodness creates a positive ripple, influencing family, friends, community, and beyond. Number 4. Gratitude as action. Gratitude should not remain only in thought or words. It must be translated into action. Being thankful transforms from an internal feeling to a living force that shapes behavior. For example, write a note of appreciation to someone who helped you. Volunteer your time to support those in need. Practice patience with challenging individuals, viewing their behavior as a reflection of their suffering. Actionable gratitude strengthens relationships, reduces resentment, and cultivates a heart that naturally experiences contentment and joy. 5. Transforming relationships through daily conduct. Our interactions define much of our life experience. By living well each day, we can transform relationships, heal old wounds, and foster mutual respect. Speak with honesty and compassion. Forgive past mistakes, including your own. Serve quietly without expecting recognition. The Buddha emphasized the power of harmonious conduct. One who cultivates harmonious speech and loving action lives free from conflict and full of joy. A simple change in attitude or communication can shift an entire environment, creating peace where tension once existed. Living well is not about perfection, but about consistent effort in kindness, patience, and mindfulness. 6. Daily reflection. Assessing the quality of the day. At the end of each day, reflect on your actions and thoughts. Ask yourself, did I act with compassion today? Did I speak truthfully and kindly? Did I acknowledge and appreciate the blessings in my life? Reflection is a tool for growth, allowing us to adjust, learn, and recommit to living well. Small daily adjustments compound over time, leading to profound transformation in character, mindset, and life experience. 7. Living well in the face of challenges. Life is unpredictable. Challenges and difficulties are inevitable. Living well means responding with integrity and grace, rather than reacting with anger or frustration. For instance, when faced with criticism, respond with openness and reflection rather than defensiveness. When confronted with injustice, act wisely and ethically, guided by compassion, not impulsive emotion. The Buddha said, "Hatred is never conquered by hatred, it is conquered by love." Dhammapada 5:21. Living well is a practice, not a one-time achievement. Each challenge is an opportunity to strengthen virtue, patience, and gratitude. Those who cultivate this mindset find that even difficulties can become sources of growth, insight, and joy. Examples from daily life. Consider May, a young woman living in a busy city. Every day she consciously chooses small acts of kindness, greeting neighbors, helping colleagues, and volunteering at a local shelter. She also practices mindfulness, taking a few minutes each morning to breathe, reflect, and set intentions. Over time, May notices that her life feels lighter, her relationships improve, and even work challenges seem more manageable. The small, consistent actions of living well create a deep, sustained sense of peace, a manifestation of the Buddha's teaching. Sow goodness, reap peace. Another example is Arun, a father who teaches his children the value of gratitude by showing appreciation for each meal, thanking the driver, the farmer, and even the wind that cools their faces. His children learn early that life is interconnected, and gratitude transforms perception, creating a family atmosphere of respect, care, and joy. 9. The compound effect of daily virtue. Just as small deposits accumulate in a bank account to create wealth, small acts of goodness accumulate to transform character, mind, and life circumstances. Over months and years, the effect is profound. Reduced stress and anxiety, stronger, healthier relationships, increased compassion and empathy, inner joy, independent of external conditions. This is the practical magic of living well each day, not as a philosophy to ponder, but as a practice to embody. 10. Conclusion of Part 2. Living well is simple in principle, but requires consistent awareness and effort. Each day we are offered countless opportunities to practice mindfulness, act with kindness, express gratitude, respond to challenges with virtue. The Buddha's wisdom shows that inner peace and life transformation are built on these small, conscious acts. By living each day well, we create a life filled with meaning, connection, and natural joy. Even small deeds done with purity of mind produce vast fruit. With daily practice, the ordinary moments of life become extraordinary, a canvas for awakening, compassion, and lasting peace. Part 3. Transforming suffering through gratitude and compassion. Suffering is an inseparable part of life. No matter our wealth, status, or environment, challenges arise. Illness, loss, disappointment, and heartbreak. Yet, as the Buddha taught, Suffering is not merely an obstacle, it is a teacher, a guide, and a doorway to awakening. By approaching life with gratitude and compassion, we can transform pain into wisdom, fear into courage, and loss into opportunity. 1. Understanding suffering. The first truth. The Buddha's first noble truth is clear: life is suffering. Dukkha. 4 noble truths. This does not mean life is only pain, but that impermanence, change, and dissatisfaction are universal. Recognizing this truth is the first step toward liberation. Every human experience contains potential suffering. A promotion may bring responsibility and stress. A close relationship may bring joy, but also vulnerability. Understanding that suffering is inevitable allows us to prepare the mind to meet life with awareness and equanimity. 2. Gratitude in the midst of pain. When pain strikes, the natural tendency is to resist, complain, or blame. However, gratitude offers a radical alternative. Gratitude allows us to see the hidden lessons, gifts, and opportunities within suffering. For example, a failed project can reveal weaknesses, inspire learning, and encourage resilience. Losing a job may redirect a person toward a more meaningful path. Illness can teach patience, self-care, and empathy toward others. Gratitude transforms the narrative of suffering from "why me" to "what can I learn?" By changing our perspective, we reclaim our power and refuse to be victimized by circumstance. 3. Compassion for self. Healing the heart. Too often, we add self-criticism to life's challenges, deepening suffering unnecessarily. Compassion for oneself is a core teaching of the Buddha. You yourself, as much as anyone in the universe, deserve your love and compassion. Buddha. Practical ways to cultivate self-compassion include speaking gently to yourself instead of harshly judging, allowing yourself rest when overwhelmed, accepting imperfection as part of the human condition. Through self-compassion, pain becomes a mirror for growth rather than a source of despair. We learn to hold our suffering with kindness, which naturally extends outward toward others. 4. Compassion for others. Turning pain into connection. Suffering is universal, and recognizing it in others fosters empathy and compassion. When someone else hurts, we can respond with understanding rather than judgment. The Buddha emphasized, hatred does not cease by hatred, but by love alone. Dhammapada 5:21. Examples. A colleague makes a mistake. Instead of anger, we offer support. A friend is struggling. We listen fully without offering unsolicited advice. Witnessing suffering in society, we act through service, donations, or volunteering. By responding with compassion, our own suffering is softened. Empathy connects us to the shared human experience, reminding us that we are not alone in pain. 5. Transforming emotional pain. Through mindfulness. Mindfulness allows us to observe emotions without being overwhelmed. Rather than reacting impulsively to anger, jealousy, or grief, mindfulness teaches us to witness feelings as transient phenomena. Practical exercises. Sit quietly, observe your breath, and notice emotions arise and pass like clouds. Name the emotion. This is anger. This is sadness. Acknowledging it without judgment. Ask, what does this emotion reveal? What can I learn? This practice reduces reactivity, prevents escalation of suffering, and allows wisdom to emerge. Mindfulness combined with gratitude creates clarity, showing that pain is temporary and manageable. 6. The role of forgiveness. Many suffer because of past injuries, betrayal, abuse, or humiliation. Forgiveness is not about excusing wrongdoing. It is liberating ourselves from the weight of resentment. The Buddha taught, Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. Forgiveness can be cultivated gradually. Start with small transgressions, acknowledging the hurt and letting go. Recognize that forgiveness is for your own peace, not necessarily reconciliation. Meditate on the interdependence of life, understanding that all beings act according to causes and conditions. Forgiveness releases the heart from the chains of past suffering, opening space for compassion, peace, and gratitude. 7. Practical daily practices to transform suffering. Transforming suffering is not an abstract idea, it is a daily practice. Here are actionable steps. 1. Morning reflection. Begin the day by acknowledging one thing you are grateful for, even amidst difficulties. 2. Mindful pause. When frustration or anger arises, pause, breathe, and name the emotion. 3. Compassionate action. Seek one small way to help or comfort someone else daily. 4. Evening reflection. Review the day, noting moments of challenge, gratitude, and learning. Through consistent practice, suffering is no longer a source of despair, but a catalyst for growth, wisdom, and deeper appreciation for life. 8. Stories of transformation. Consider the story of Sita, a woman who lost her home in a natural disaster. Initially overwhelmed by despair, she began practicing gratitude for the support of neighbors, the safety of her family, and the opportunity to rebuild. By focusing on what remained rather than what was lost, she found strength, clarity, and hope. Her suffering became the foundation of resilience, compassion, and a renewed sense of purpose. Another example is Arjun, a man betrayed by a close friend. Instead of dwelling in anger, he reflected on the lessons, trust, discernment, and empathy for human imperfection. Over time, his resentment faded, and he forged more conscious, honest, and compassionate relationships. What seemed like loss became an opportunity for profound inner growth. 9. Gratitude amplifies resilience. Research in modern psychology aligns with Buddhist wisdom. Gratitude strengthens resilience, reduces depression, and fosters optimism. Those who cultivate gratitude even in adversity experience less stress and more emotional stability. In Buddhist practice, gratitude and compassion work together. Gratitude shifts the mind from focusing on loss to recognizing blessings. Compassion transforms empathy into positive action and emotional release. The combination is a powerful antidote to suffering, allowing life's challenges to serve as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. 10. Reflection and integration. Transforming suffering is a lifelong journey. The Buddha did not promise a life without pain, but he taught a path to liberation from the mental and emotional suffering that arises from attachment, resentment, and ignorance. By cultivating gratitude for life, lessons, and support, self-compassion in the face of personal struggle, compassion toward others, mindfulness and forgiveness, we create a life where suffering is no longer destructive but transformative. Every challenge becomes a teacher, every disappointment a chance to grow, and every hurt an invitation to practice patience, kindness, and awareness. Suffering is not a curse but a guide. Gratitude and compassion transform it into wisdom and peace. Part 4. Returning to yourself. Inner peace. Amid life's storms, life is unpredictable. Storms arise in the form of challenges, conflicts, loss, or unexpected change. Many people look outward for security, comfort, and happiness, not realizing that true peace is cultivated within. The Buddha taught that the mind is the source of both suffering and liberation. By returning to ourselves, embracing mindfulness, and practicing letting go, we can find stability, serenity, and resilience, regardless of external circumstances. 1. the mind as the source of peace. The Buddha said, "No one can find peace if the mind is disturbed." Peace does not come from wealth, status, or comfort. It comes from the state of the mind. A disturbed mind will experience anxiety even in abundance, while a calm mind can remain serene amid scarcity. Returning to oneself means observing thoughts and emotions without being carried away. It is the practice of mindfulness, noticing anger, fear, or desire, acknowledging their presence, and allowing them to pass without attachment. 2. Letting go. The art of release attachment is the root of suffering. We cling to people, possessions, outcomes, and even ideas, expecting them to bring permanent satisfaction. The Buddha taught, attachment leads to suffering. Letting go leads to liberation. Letting go is not indifference. It is acceptance and freedom. Examples. Letting go of a grudge releases emotional weight. Letting go of unmet expectations frees us from disappointment. Letting go of material obsession allows us to appreciate simplicity. Through consistent practice, letting go becomes a natural state of the heart, creating space for gratitude, peace, and clarity. 3. Mindfulness. Returning to the present moment. Mindfulness is the foundation of returning to oneself. It is the practice of being fully present, aware of each thought, sensation, and emotion. Practical exercises. Breath awareness. Sit quietly. Observe your inhalation and exhalation and gently return attention when it wanders. Body scan. Notice areas of tension, breathe into them, and release tightness with awareness. Walking meditation. Walk slowly, noticing each step, the contact of feet with the ground, and the rhythm of movement. Through mindfulness, we detach from the past and the future, finding solace in the present. Even amidst chaos, we remain grounded, centered, and conscious. 4. Cultivating inner silence. Silence is not mere absence of sound. It is the stillness of the mind and heart. The Buddha often retreated to forests and quiet places to cultivate this inner silence, demonstrating that the mind thrives when freed from constant distraction and noise. Practical ways to cultivate inner silence. Set aside daily time for meditation or quiet reflection. Limit exposure to overwhelming media or negativity. Observe nature quietly, allowing your mind to mirror the stillness around you. Inner silence strengthens resilience. It allows us to respond rather than react, to act with clarity, and to experience life without the turbulence of unchecked emotions. 5. Acceptance. Embracing what is life's storms are inevitable. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when we resist reality. Acceptance is acknowledging life as it is without unnecessary resistance. When plans fail, accept the outcome without bitterness. When someone behaves unkindly, accept their limitations without internalizing harm. When loss occurs, acknowledge impermanence and find gratitude for what remains. Acceptance does not mean passivity. It is the wisdom to act appropriately while maintaining inner balance. 6. Finding stability amid chaos. Returning to oneself provides stability. Consider a tree in a storm. Its roots anchor it, allowing flexibility without breaking. Similarly, our inner grounding is cultivated through gratitude, virtue, mindfulness, and detachment. Examples. A person facing sudden job loss maintains calm by focusing on skills, opportunities, and support networks. A family navigating illness finds unity and serenity by practicing compassion, patience, and shared mindfulness. Through these practices, we develop emotional resilience, enabling us to face external challenges without losing inner harmony. 7. Daily practices to return to yourself. 1. Morning reflection. Set intentions to act with awareness and gratitude. 2. Mindful moments. Take brief pauses during the day to check in with your breath, thoughts, and emotions. 3. Evening review. Reflect on the day, noticing moments of attachment, judgment, or distraction, and release them. 4. Compassion. Breaks. Offer kindness to yourself and others, reinforcing connection and empathy. These simple habits anchor the mind, allowing peace to become a natural state rather than a distant goal. Otto, stories of returning to inner peace. Consider Ananda, a man overwhelmed by a demanding career and family obligations. He often felt anxious and resentful, blaming circumstances. When he began practicing mindful pauses, daily meditation, and reflection on gratitude, he discovered inner calm even during stressful situations. He realized that peace was not found in changing the world, but in changing his response to it. Similarly, Lakshmi, a woman facing a long illness, learned to focus on moments of beauty, the sun on her face, a kind word from a nurse, or the taste of simple food. By returning to herself, she found peace and joy in the present, even amid physical suffering. 1.9. The interconnection of gratitude and inner peace. Gratitude amplifies the power of returning to oneself. When we are aware of blessings, even in adversity, the heart softens, attachment loosens, and fear diminishes. Inner peace grows not from avoiding storms, but from embracing life fully, with awareness, acceptance, and gratitude. The Buddha said, "When your mind is grateful and virtuous, life will naturally bring peace." Gratitude allows us to transform perception, seeing opportunity and meaning where others see only chaos. This is the essence of returning to oneself, a mind anchored in reality, a heart nourished by virtue, and a life guided by awareness. 10. Reflection and integration. Returning to oneself is an ongoing journey. It is not a one-time achievement, but a daily practice of mindfulness, acceptance, and self-compassion. By cultivating these qualities, we reduce reactivity and emotional turbulence, strengthen resilience amid life's challenges, experience clarity, calm, and joy, build a foundation for deeper gratitude, virtue, and wisdom. Peace is not found in changing the world, but in returning to the mind, understanding its nature, and living with awareness and compassion. Through these practices, storms no longer dictate the quality of life. Instead, inner peace becomes a constant companion, guiding thoughts, actions, and responses.